Sutta. This sutta is identical with Mn. I have heard that on one occasion the Blessed One was staying at Ikanangala in the Ikanangala forest grove. And on that occasion many well-known wealthy Brahmins were dwelling in Ikanangala, i.e. Kanki the Brahman, Taruka the Brahman, Hokarasati the Brahman, Jainasonan the Brahman, Todaraya the Brahman, and many other well-known wealthy Brahmins. Then, while the young Brahmins Vasita and Bharadvaja were walking and wandering about to exercise their legs, this conversation arose between them. How is one a Brahman? The young Brahman Bharadvaja said, when one is well born on both sides, the mothers and the fathers, is of pure descent for 7 generations of fathers uncriticized and irreproachable in the telling of one's birth. It's to that extent that one is a Brahman. The young Brahman Vasita said, when one is virtuous and consummate in one's practices, it's to that extent that one is a Brahman. But neither was the young Brahman Bharadvaja able to win over the young Brahman Vasita, nor was the young Brahman Vasita able to win over the young Brahman Bharadvaja. Then the young Brahman Vasita said to the young Brahman Bharadvaja, Bharadvaja, this Gotama the contemplative, a son of the Sakyans, gone forth from the Sakyan clan, is staying at Ikanangala in the Ikanangala forest grove. And of that master Gotama this fine reputation has spread. He is indeed a blessed one, worthy and rightly self-awakened, consummate in clear knowing and conduct, well gone, an expert with regard to the cosmos, unexcelled trainer of people fit to be tamed, teacher of devas and human beings, awakened, blessed. Come, let's go to Gotama the contemplative and, on arrival, ask him about this matter. However he answers, that's how we'll hold it. As you say, Master, the young Brahman Bharadvaja responded to the young Brahman Vasita. So the young Brahmins Vasita and Bharadvaja went to the Blessed One and, on arrival, exchanged courteous greetings with him. After an exchange of friendly greetings and courtesies, they sat to one side. As they were sitting there, the young Brahman Vasita addressed the Blessed One in verses. Master, we're acknowledged and self-proclaimed as masters of the 3 knowledges. I, a student of Hokarasati. This one, of Taruka. Whatever is taught by masters of the 3 knowledges, in that we are adept grammarians and philologists, on a par with our teachers in recitation. We have a dispute, Gotama, on the topic of birth. Bharadvaja says that one is a Brahman through birth. I say through action. Know this, one with eyes. Neither of us can win over the other. We come, asking the Master, reputed to be self-awakened, as people going, with hands palm to palm over the heart, pay homage, venerating the moon when it's just past new. In the same way in the world, Gotama. We ask Gotama, the I arisen in the world, is one a Brahman through birth? Or is it through action? Tell us, who don't know, how we might know a Brahman. The Buddha. I will answer you step by step. As it really is. Animals are divided by nature, for their species differ, one from another. You know grasses and trees, even though they don't proclaim themselves. Their distinguishing markings are made by nature, for their species differ, one from another. Then beetles and moths, down to white ants. The distinguishing markings are made by nature, for their species differ, one from another. You know four-footed beasts, small and large. The distinguishing markings are made by nature, for their species differ, one from another. You know belly-footed, long-backed snakes. The distinguishing markings are made by nature, for their species differ, one from another. Then you know fish in the water, with water their range. The distinguishing markings are made by nature, for their species differ, one from another. Then you know birds, with wings as their vehicles, coursing through the sky. The distinguishing markings are made by nature, for their species differ, one from another. While these species have many distinguishing marks made by nature, human beings don't have many distinguishing marks made by nature. Not through hair or head, not through ears or eyes, not through face or nose, not through mouth or lips, not through neck or shoulders, not through belly or back, not through buttocks or chest, not through groin or intercourse, not through hands or feet, not through fingers or nails, not through calves or thighs, not through complexion or voice. Their distinguishing mark is not made by nature, as it is for other species. In human beings that's not found individually in their bodies, but their identification is described in terms of convention. Whoever, among human beings, makes a living by guarding cows, you know him thus, Vasita, as a farmer, not as a Brahman. Whoever, among human beings, makes a living through various crafts, you know him thus, Vasita, as a craftsman, not as a Brahman. Whoever, among human beings, makes a living through trade, you know him thus, Vasita, as a merchant, not as a Brahman. Whoever, among human beings, makes a living by serving others, you know him thus, Vasita, as a servant, not as a Brahman. Whoever, among human beings, makes a living through stealing, you know him thus, Vasita. This is a thief, not a Brahman. Whoever, among human beings, makes a living through arrow and sword, you know him thus, Vasita, as a soldier, not as a Brahman. Whoever, among human beings, makes a living through priesthood, you know him thus, Vasita, as a sacrificer, not as a Brahman. Whoever, among human beings, makes a living partaking of city and state, you know him thus, Vasita, as a king, not as a Brahman. I don't call one a Brahman for being born of a mother, or sprung from a womb. He's called a Bosaya, if he has anything at all, but someone with nothing, who clings to no thing. He's what I call a Brahman. Having cut every fetter, he doesn't get ruffled beyond attachment, unshackled. He's what I call a Brahman. Having cut the strap and thong, cord and bridle, having thrown off the bar, awakened. He's what I call a Brahman. He endures uninjured insult, assault, and imprisonment. His army is strength. His strength, forbearance. He's what I call a Brahman. Free from anger. Duties observed. Principled, with no overbearing pride. Trained, a last body. He's what I call a Brahman. Like water on a lotus leaf. A mustard seed on the tip of an awl. He doesn't adhere to sensual pleasures. He's what I call a Brahman. He discerns right here. For himself. On his own. His own. Ending of stress. Unshackled, his burden laid down. He's what I call a Brahman. Wise, deeply. Discerning, astute. As to what is the path. And what's not. His ultimate goal attained. He's what I call a Brahman. Uncontaminated. By householders. And houseless ones alike. Living with no home. With next to no wants. He's what I call a Brahman. Having put aside violence. Against beings fearful or firm. He neither kills nor gets others to kill. He's what I call a Brahman. Unopposing among opposition. Unbound among the armed. Unclinging among those who cling. He's what I call a Brahman. His passion, aversion, conceit, and contempt have fallen away. Like a mustard seed. From the tip of an awl. He's what I call a Brahman. He would say. What's non-grating. Instructive. True. Abusing no one. He's what I call a Brahman. Here in the world. He takes nothing not given. Long, short. Large, small. Attractive, not. He's what I call a Brahman. His longing for this and for the next world can't be found. Free from longing, unshackled. He's what I call a Brahman. His attachments, his homes, can't be found. He, through knowing, is unperplexed. Has reached a footing in the deathless. He's what I call a Brahman. He has gone beyond attachment here. For both merit and evil. Sorrowless, dustless, and pure. He's what I call a Brahman. Spotless, pure like the moon. Limpid and calm. His delights, his becomings. Totally gone. He's what I call a Brahman. He has made his way past this hard-going path. Delusion, wandering on. He's crossed over. Has gone beyond. Is free from want. From perplexity. Absorbed in jhana. Through no clinging. Unbound. He's what I call a Brahman. Whoever, abandoning sensual passions here, would go forth from home. His sensual passions, becomings, totally gone. He's what I call a Brahman. Whoever, abandoning craving here, would go forth from home. His cravings, becomings, totally gone. He's what I call a Brahman. Having left behind the human bond. Having made his way past the divine. From all bonds unshackled. He's what I call a Brahman. Having left behind delight and displeasure. Cooled, with no acquisitions. A hero who has conquered all the world, every world. He's what I call a Brahman. He knows in every way beings passing away, and their arising, unattached, awakened, well gone. He's what I call a Brahman. He whose course they don't know. Devas, Gandhabas, and human beings. His effluence ended, an Arahant. He's what I call a Brahman. He who has nothing in front, behind, in between. The one with nothing, who clings to no thing. He's what I call a Brahman. A splendid bull, conqueror, hero, great seer, free from want, awakened, washed. He's what I call a Brahman. He knows his former lives. He sees heavens and states of woe, has attained the ending of birth. He's what I call a Brahman. For this is a convention in the world. The name and clan determined, come into being from common consent. Here and there determined, taking a position unknowingly, for a long time obsessively. Those who don't know say that one is a Brahman by birth. Not by birth is one a Brahman. Not by birth a non-Brahman. By action is one a Brahman. By action one is a non-Brahman. By action is one a farmer. By action one is a craftsman. By action is one a merchant. By action one is a servant. By action is one a thief. By action one is a soldier. By action is one a sacrificer. By action one is a king. The wise see action in this way, as it has come to be. Seeing dependent co-arising, cognizant of action's results. Through action the world rolls on. People roll on through action. In action are beings held bound together, as in a linchpin. A chariot traveling along. Through austerity, the holy life. Through restraint and self-control. That's how one is a Brahman. That's a Brahman. Unexcelled. Consummate in the three knowledges. Further becoming ended, at peace. No, Vasita. That's Brahma, that's Sakha. For those who directly know. When this was said, the young Brahmins Vasita and Bharadvaja said to the Blessed One, Magnificent, Master Gotama. Magnificent. Just as if he were to place upright what was overturned. To reveal what was hidden. To show the way to one who was lost, or to carry a lamp into the dark so that those with eyes could see forms. In the same way has Master Gotama through many lines of reasoning made the Dharma clear. We go to Master Gotama for refuge, to the Dharma, and to the Sangha of monks. May Master Gotama remember us as lay followers who have gone for refuge from this day forward, for life.